Sussex Sharks were knocked out of the NatWest T20 Blast after Northants Steelbacks' David Willey bagged 3 wickets and smashed this season's fastest 100 at the Brighton and HoveJobs.com county ground. Put in after losing the toss, the Sharks got things moving in the very first over of the match. Chris Nash looking to enjoy the bowling of Rory Kleinfeldt. These 2 boundary shots coming off the first 4 balls. A big crowd was ready for a night of celebration. But they would have been shocked when inspirational captain Luke Wright chipped his 3rd ball from Willey to Ollie Stone at mid-on to go for a duck. Wright had been in such wonderful form in this competition this year that such a loss must have disappointed the dugout, but with Nash taking on the ball when he could and Mahela Jayawardene back at the county for this match, there was not too much concern. The Sri Lankan, always a man for a big occasion, looked in terrific touch too. Stone swung over mid-wicket for the first 6 of the night in the 5th over. Nash also cleared the rope in the next as Sussex took 53 runs off the 6 overs of power play for the loss of Wright's wicket. Pretty much an ideal start. And on these 2 went, Jayawardene looking especially good with some sublime cricket shots. This single off Stephen Crook took him to his half-century off 30 balls with 9 fours and 1 6 included. At the end of 9 overs, the total read 87 for 1. The Sharks had 2 batsmen well set, and a big final score was now on the cards. But then the big moment of the night, Jayawardene, who'd used a scoop shot so well, went for it again off Azarullah, only for Josh Cobb to pull off a stunning one-handed diving catch right on the boundary's edge. Jayawardene was out for 50 and the Sharks were never as good again all night. George Bailey looked to be a little unlucky to be given out LBW to Stone in the next over on 5. So now it was down to Nash to keep going. A sweep off Cobb brought him his 5th 4 to go with 2 maximums as he got to his 50 off 33 deliveries. 6 overs to go and Sussex had got to 122 for 3 and needed a big finish. Instead, Nash was trapped in front by Kleinfeldt. He went for 53 and with him the chance of setting the Steelbacks something really challenging. Craig Kachopa watched in horror as he was bowled by the South African 2 balls later. The 2013 winners of this competition beginning to look very good with the Sharks on 130 for 5 overs left. Matt Machin did his best by ruining Kleinfeldt's figures a bit with this maximum. But then Willey returned to remove Chris Jordan for 6 on his return to cricket after a 2-month layoff with a side strain. Crook with the running catch at mid-off. Willey ended with figures of 3 for 27 as he also removed Will Beer for 16, the Sharks having to settle for a total of 165 for 7 from their 20 overs. Willey soon had his eye in reply and struck the first of his 10 sixes at the start of the 3rd over, 1 from Jordan which went for 18 runs. 15 more were taken off the 5th, delivered by Chris Liddle, as Willey raced up to 43 by himself at the end of the power play, those runs being made out of a score of 60 without loss. Things were not looking good for the home team when Richard Levy then cleared the rope twice in the same Liddle over, the 2 Steelbacks openers knocking off 74 of the runs in the first 7 overs, hardly what the Sharks wanted. They now needed wickets, and quickly. And Beer got the one of Levy for 24 with his very first delivery, the batsman LBW to cheer up the expectant crowd. It was the next over, the 9th, in which this game was quickly taken away from the Sharks. Willey hit the first ball for 6 to get to a 50 off only 27 deliveries, but this was just a start for the all-rounder. The next ball went for 4 while the 3rd was planted over the mid-wicket fence again. The bowler, Michael Yardy, switched to over the wicket for his next delivery, but it made no difference. The batsman deciding that this was the over when everything was going to be hit over leg, utilising the wind and the short boundary to full effect. Another 6 followed, and incredibly, the last ball of the over was also dispatched into the distance, 34 runs coming off the over, which left the Steelbacks only 54 more runs to find off the final 9 overs. Willey was by now an unstoppable force. 2 more maximums off Jamal Mills was followed by a 3rd in the same over, which took the batsman to an awesome ton off only 40 balls, the quickest of the season, the equal third fastest in the history of domestic T20 cricket, and the equal 8th quickest in this format anywhere in the world. He was out to the next ball he faced, as for once he missed time to Bailey in the deep, but another 21 runs had come off the over and the damage had been done. There followed 4 boundary-free overs, one of which included the wicket of Ben Duckett, Bear avoiding the mayhem with figures of 2 for 24 from his 4 overs. That was in spite of this 6 from Cobb in the leg spinner's last over. While Bear's last delivery was also the final one of the match, as Alex Wakely reverse swept to the boundary, which took his team home with 4 overs remaining. It had been a thrashing really, but which side would not have faced that with Willey in such fantastic form? So it's the Steelbacks who head to Birmingham later in the month for finals day, leaving Sussex to fight with all their might to try to avoid the drop in the championship. There are some more big games to come after losing this match by 7 wickets.